Sleep where comets whisper by. shall list and die on that far shore for Lord. Onward high, blue but gleaming ta'en the sky. Blue but we shall list and die on that far shore for Lord. On that far shore for Lord.
Fellow armsmen, I ask you, will you follow me tonight to break their spine and reclaim what once was mine? Those cravens backstabbed me, deceived me. Never shall I tolerate their crimes again. Now let the hunt begin. Oh, 7,000 souls scared and daunted, such a tale of woe. Not too long ago, this village was a golden scene of hope. Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace. Restore our glory to live forever. Bring down the dark regime. I know how to unleash eternal power. Lead us to order. I am the light bringer. Fellow warriors, I ask you, should my campaign come to an end, there's way more to avenge. Oh, 15 million souls living in this realm without much hope. Not too long ago, this kingdom was a golden state of hope. Call dark regime. I know how to unleash eternal power. Lead us to order. I am the light bringer.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to the siege, or good morning. Good evening. Welcome back, everyone. It is time for the Golden Molehill Awards 2025. Like we do every year. I know this is the first time on the Mole Under Management channel, but for all the people who have missed this, we have been doing this for, oh gosh, 8 years now? I think 8 years now. And this is where I tell you about my top 5, well, top 4 games of this year. And then we are talking a little bit about the state of the gaming industry. As always, we're also giving away our brownish turd looking molehill award for the shittiest gaming company or game out there. And boy, oh boy, lots of contenders this year again. And then, of course, we also talk a little bit about the channel. How was it this year? What are we planning next year? And I want to say we, I mean you, me, and others, you know, we, community, you know, together. Yay! And then we are making fun little plans, which would definitely not come to fruition because, you know, that's how life is. And then I will go into my vacation. Yup, there is a vacation up till the 5th. 3 weeks vacation. Wow, crazy. That's crazy. Yes, 3 weeks vacation. I need that. And then I will be back on the 5th of January. Right on time for tons of January releases. Like on the 6th, we have immediately, what's it called? Star Resonance, which is like Satisfactory, but with weapons and all that. And then we have tons of other games coming out in January. I have to look at the list, but January is already so packed that I don't really. Kind of crazy. Like we have tons of games. Oh yeah, Enfield is also coming out on the 26th, and again some other stuff. Hightail, not on this channel. I know, not on this channel, but on the Mole RP channel. Hightail, definitely want to check that out. Like there's again, January is crazy. Like I think I think this was planned by a lot of companies because they were all afraid of GTA, right? And now that GTA 6 is coming out by the end of the year, everyone is like kind of scrambling to not be in that blast cone when that comes down. So, yeah. Yeah. Hey there, Vagabond. I see you. Hello, hello, hello. And everyone else coming in and also lurking in the shadows. Welcome in, folks. Oh, yeah, Pragmata. The demo is live. Right. Right. Damn, so many things. Oh, wow. Ace Combat 7 is only $5 right now. Shit. It's a steal. I know the game is now 6 years old. Damn, 6 years. But that's a steal. That's a steal. That's just a steal. um, but yeah, so we had the Game Awards yesterday. Was alright. Tons of great announcements. I definitely had my fill. If you want to see my reaction of the Game Awards, especially when the Total War Warhammer 40k thingy dropped, and you want to see that, it's here on my channel. It's live. And we will definitely talk a little bit more about. I think I will over the weekend. I will actually make a video about it. Yeah, I think I will make a video about it, or maybe next week, and I will talk a little bit about it because it's so interesting to see the reaction of, well, me, and I'm all for it. And then you see the reaction of some parts of the communities, and they're like, what is this? So I definitely want to talk about that, which I will. Yeah. Does it matter to me? Do I care? It's always no. I couldn't give less than two shits what anyone else thinks about the games I might enjoy or might not enjoy. Right? This is also why the Golden Molehill Awards are basically ad absurdum. When I tell you the top games of 2025, and it absolutely does not matter. Like, who cares? Play the games you enjoy. You don't need anyone to tell you what to enjoy and what don't to enjoy. Like, it's the same thing when I see that sometimes. I enjoy, like, I have a guilty pleasure, which I don't make any content around. I don't care really, and that is Wuthering Waves. I like Wuthering Waves. I know that a lot of people hate it. And I know that people would say, well, you could just play Genshin Impact then. No, it's not the same. Like, I like to, like I said this yesterday, Wuthering Waves is basically the path of exile of the gacha games. Like, there's actually quite a bit of gameplay components in there, and quite a bit of like screw your builds up. Like, there's tons of stuff you can do with the builds and all that. And I like the whole idea of Wuthering Waves much more than Genshin Impact. But my point is, even though those two games are very similar, they're not. And you can enjoy one and not enjoy the other. And that basically also goes with games in general, right? With that said, this year we have only top 4 games. And I will say that finding 4 games was already quite a bit of work. The reason for that is also I haven't really played a lot of too many different games this year, because I was focusing a little bit more on what I'm doing on my YouTube channels, right? And like, I'm pretty sure, and I wanna mention this. Hades 2 would have been on that list if I would have played Hades 2 in 1.0. I have played Hades 2 when it did go into early access, and it was already fantastic. So I can only assume that it got much better. With that said, I haven't played it in 1.0. This is why it isn't on my list. Simple as that, right? But if somebody would ask me, hey, would you recommend it? I would say yeah. I just don't know the extent of Hades 2. So, in general, I need to have played those games. And when I say have to play them, I don't need to have them finished. I know that sounds weird. I know that sounds weird, but sometimes I don't find the time or some other things. Like there are multiple reasons why I might have not finished the game yet. But I still think that if somebody would ask me, so 2025, what games would you recommend to me? I could easily tell you, yes, those are the games. And I could explain to you why. Right. Um Another game, or two games I want to also mention which are not on the list, but people will be like, why? You put quite a bit of time into them. Like you really enjoyed them. Like Borderlands 4. I have nearly 200 hours in Borderlands 4 already. And it's not on the list. Why? Because it's Borderlands. You like Borderlands for what it is and for what it isn't, or you don't. And I do. Would I say that Borderlands is for everyone? No. Like it's actually rather fascinating when I'm looking at like my friends who I'm also still playing through Borderlands 4, and we are not even sure if we will actually finish Borderlands 4. Um, but I see it with my friends who are not happy about the story in Borderlands 4, and they are still talking about Borderlands 2 and how amazing it was. And I really realize how much they have rose tinted glasses on. It's like, bro, we get it. Handsome Jack was hilarious. But that was, what, 15 years ago at this point? Second, it wasn't that great. The story was mostly bollocks. It wasn't that great. Like I have watched Borderlands 2 playthrough again before Borderlands 4 came out, and it just reminded me, like, yeah, the story wasn't that great. Story wasn't that great. And Handsome Jack could become sometimes quite annoying, I realized. So a lot of like rose tinted like memories, and but that doesn't shape really my thoughts on Borderlands 4. I play Borderlands 4 for the gameplay, and I really, really enjoyed that. So, but would I recommend it? Would I put it into a game of the year list? Hell no. Hell no. 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 Same thing, Battlefield 6. Do I enjoy my time in Battlefield 6? Yeah. I have quite a bit of hours already in Battlefield 6, and there will be more to come. But there is tons of stuff missing. And more importantly, the last patch of Battlefield 6 is a disaster through and through. Like, they even managed to break the menu. Like, if you are unlucky, you are starting into Borderlands 6. Lol. Sorry, I'm still a little bit sleepy from last night. Battlefield 6, and you can't play the game because the menus do not work. It's a widespread issue. And it is because of that stupid Netflix clicking icon thingy. Ugh, I don't know, man. But yeah, it's not just that. It's like a lot of stuff which is bugged and broken. And yeah, just. Ugh. That game is definitely not Game of the Year material in any shape or form. So, have that. But with that said, let's talk about the top 4 games of this year. Right? Of this year. And I will start with a game I did not expect, and I did not think that it could improve and become so good. And oh, before we jump into this, one last thing. I totally forgot. Sorry. The top 4 games of 2025 are in release date order. They are not how good they are. I think that all 4 of them are really, really good, and I will explain why. But they are not in an order how good they are, but when they got released. Just to make that clear. If people are like, oh, this game is only like number 3, yeah, because that game came out between the other 2 games. Right? Like, keep that in mind. Like, I think all of those games all deserve your time, and they deserve to be played. So with that said, let's have the first one, which again I didn't expect, and that is 2-Point Museum. And I know people would go like, wait, ready? 2-Point Museum? Isn't that just like 2-Point Campus and 2-Point Hospital? See, that's the thing, it isn't. And I was as surprised about that as a lot of people were. Because when you played 2-Point Hospital and you played 2-Point Campus, they were very, very similar games. Like, you basically had your people coming in, right? You had to take care of them in the sense of like you had to heal them, or you have to give them the knowledge so that they could finish whatever they came in for their study. And if you did that, that was it. They would leave, and then they would be happy, right? Hello, Tiny. Good luck. So I was kind of expecting this for 2-Point Museum. And I was surprised when it wasn't. And it was actually a very, very different game. And it felt a lot more like I would kind of expect to run a museum. And especially with all the little things you could find, right? You could get for your museum, with like people you could send out to get new pieces for your museum. You could upgrade the pieces. Now we have like multiple DLCs. I know that there was a new DLC which just came out recently, which was Zoo. So they put a zoo into the museum, which is also like, wait, what? I didn't play that DLC, but we played the D&D DLC, and that was hilarious. It was great what they did there. So they have a lot of ideas also for the DLCs. They all feel fresh. They all feel different. The different museums all focus on different things. There is a complete like aquarium thingy there, which is also fantastic. Like how you do that and how you take care of the fishes and all. Like, it really astounded me how much they listened to the community and what they wanted when it came to quality of life improvements, but also how much they actually made this game different from the previous 2 games. And yeah, they nailed it. So if you're looking for a relatively chill but really entertaining and funny management game in a museum environment for what, $30? I think this game is absolutely worth it. Like, even the base game is absolutely worth it. There was one minus point, and it's not too incremental, but it is very important to note. They have a deluxe edition of this game, and the deluxe edition is coming with special challenges. So those are special museums where you have to do special challenges, and you do not have access to them if you do not buy the special edition. And that was definitely a thing where I was like, whoa, because those challenges were actually pretty cool. And they were not just minor things, there were some like hour-long stuff you could do. So yeah, that was definitely one of the things I wasn't too happy about. But are they needed? Do I feel like that if you do not do the specials or the challenges, you are missing out? No, no. They're extra content if you want it to be, but there is so much content here in the game and so much stuff to do that it didn't really matter. And that's why I turned a relatively blind eye on it. Right. So again, Two Point Museum is definitely the first game of 2025 I do recommend, because I'm still going back to it sometimes and I still enjoy it, and it is so different from the other 2 Point games. And that's fantastic. Number 2. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, you probably already saw this coming. And, well, after yesterday, this is not surprising. But number 2 is Expedition 33, aka Clair Obscur. You know, they are games where you just have to scratch your head. Also, you just have to scratch your head seeing my mug down there and wonder, wow, that's how he looks without beard and long hair? Damn. Rough. Rough, man. Very rough. No, but seriously, like Expedition 33 just absolutely nailed everything. Was there a few minor weaknesses, especially at the end? Yes. Yes. There were definitely a few minor things where I was like, you could have that could have been better. But we are talking about such minor nitpicks in an already damn good game. Like, okay, instead of getting 100% rating because of those minor nitpicks, it unfortunately only gets 95 as a rating. Where I'm like, yeah, okay, you know what? That's whatever. But this game, it just nailed it. Like, it took. Like, it's funny to me when you were looking at gameplay alone, you know, how publishers like Square Enix have been trying to tell us pretty bluntly that turn-based RPGs are just not doable anymore. Like, people don't like it, people are bored by it, and, like, nah, this is why they don't do turn-based RPGs anymore. And then this game is coming along, and it's like, you know what? You can do turn-based RPGs, but you can also put quite a bit of action in it. Right? So they managed to do something a lot of studios were trying to tell us, oh, it's not possible. I was like, yeah, that's another lie, isn't it? That's another lie. And so, man, they did that with the gameplay. The game was super deep with so many mechanics. And yeah, it was a little bit too easy to get a bit OP with some characters. My L was busted. I never really used my L for DPS, so it didn't really affect me. But I mean, I used Gustav, especially Gustav in the end game, is absolutely beast with all the power he gets. Same with my L, right? Like there were some really busted, cool abilities there, but I think that's also what the developers wanted. And you had some amazing optional boss fights. The story was really good. I'm actually really invested into the world and would love to know more. The endings of the game, I think, were all really good in their own right. And like the characters, and there is not a lot I could complain about this game. This game is just, it is one of the best turn-based RPGs of all time. Definitely this year. The story, the music, the environment, the art style, like everything just clicks. And that's something not a lot of games manage to do anymore. And then it was made also by a relatively small team, right? Like, yes, they hired a lot of third parties, they hired a lot of outsourced work, but basically everyone does that. So, but the core team is 30 people, and a lot of the people there were newcomers. Like the writer, which also won an award yesterday for best writing and all that, and this was her first video game. Yes, she did do some Broadway writing and all that, and theater writing, but for video games, that was her first time, and she absolutely nailed it, which is pretty amazing. Same goes for the composer. Like, sure, he did do composing before and all that, but never for a video game, and never for a bigger project. And so, yeah, it just worked out, which I'm pretty happy with. But if there is definitely one game I would recommend nearly, to play this year, or to even watch a playthrough, it's Expedition 33. Like, there were tons of good games out there this year, but none which was as unique but also good as Expedition 33 was. So play that game. Play that game. Number 3. Oh, this one will surprise some people. Yup, because I only played it once on stream, but I never but I did play it off stream for quite a bit. And I still highly recommend it. And that is Blueprints. Yup. It is the Blueprints. What a game. To have an idea of taking a puzzler, putting a roguelike in it, but also then later on putting basically some mist into it is really something you don't see often. And I understand why this game is not necessarily interesting for streaming, but it is definitely one of those games, as I said later. I played it off stream for myself for quite a while, and I will not spoiler it. But this game had some wicked twists and turns. Yeah. And I did not expect that. You should play this. You should. You should. It's definitely one of the best puzzle games I have seen in years. And again, it gets crazy. Like at the beginning, one of the things I would definitely say, and this is for people who are not too much into puzzle games, the game is a bit slow. Right, it tries to ease in the people, and you will have like some of the more repeating puzzles coming up here and there, where you're like, oh, I did this room before. But as I said before, this game in particular is becoming crazy. Like there is some what the heck just happened here moment. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. This game is fantastic in leading you on, and it has a really interesting story. Now, with that said, this is still a puzzle game, but it does some really cool stuff with building your own mansion. Like, if you are just remotely interested in puzzle games, definitely check it out. And even if you are not, check out a playthrough and watch it for a while. Because it's definitely, like, I will be honest, I don't like puzzle games too much. I love point and click games. I love deduction games, right? That's more my kind of thing. But I wasn't really sure if I would enjoy this game. And fair enough, again, for streaming, not necessarily the game. But for my own entertainment, oh, I was very entertained. Like, they have some really cool puzzles. They're not taking you by the hand, right? I highly recommend to have something to write down stuff or take screenshots and all that. um, it's also one of those games where you would kind of think, oh, I'm just looking up a guide. I never did. Funny enough, I never came to the moment in this game where I was like, maybe I should go online and ask Google what this is and what I'm doing here. I never did. Not a single time. Because the game is so interesting that you would just go, I will come back later. I will come back later to this when I understand what's going on here. And that's part of the game. That you are getting into situations or rooms where you are just, I don't think I get it. This is too much. My brain can't comprehend. And then you're coming back after a few runs and you are like, oh, crucial information. I get this. And then it becomes so much clearer. It's really great how this game is like allowing you to figure stuff out for yourself and learn. But yeah, Blueprints, highly recommended. Highly recommended. It's a really good game and a really, really good puzzle game. And a pretty cool roguelike. So I can't say this enough. Yeah. Can't praise this enough. Now for number 4. Let me just... Yes. Let me open up so that there is no spoilers. Yes, let me open up the demo section of the game. Hey, Tarts, how are you doing, man? And number 4 game, without a doubt, is, you guessed it, Dispatch. This is the demo section, by the way. So I assume that a lot of people know this, and so yeah. Number 4 for me, definitely Dispatch. I did not expect this level of animation, this level of storytelling, like the level of just voice acting they did. I really enjoyed the management part of this game. It felt actually like a real game. And the humor, everything in this game was great. Now, I will say that if you were deviating a little bit more from, let's say, the answers everyone is picking, is a little bit of a lull there, you know, a little bit of a lull there when it comes to that type of stuff. Like there are literally, unfortunately, a few moments where it feels like they haven't really thought about how would characters react to that answer. But it's such a minor thing that, yeah, this is just, again, like the game, I did not expect it to grab me that much, because the last Telltale games in particular were all mediocre to me. They were all mediocre. And this game is just excellent. Thank you so much for the €5 super chat on the YouTube's live stream. For those juicy trailers and prize money for the Mole Award winner, yes, which is me. We are all Mole Award winners, but you know, I'm the biggest one. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really, really do appreciate that. Thank you. But going back to this, the only gripe, I would say that, the only gripe I can see people have with this game is the price tag. It's $40 for about, give or take, 8 hours of gameplay. That is quite a bit of money. And I can understand why some people say that's too much. If that is the case, I highly recommend to wait for a sale. But the quality I had in those 8 hours just made it kind of worth it. Like, it's still cheaper than going to the movies, and you had a movie quality show here. And it's longer than the most movies with 8 hours. So yeah, I did not expect it. I did not expect it. I will be honest, when they came to me with an offer to play Dispatch, I was like, I will see where I can fit it in. I can see where I fit it in. And then I played the first 2 episodes, and I was like, damn, where are my other episodes? Wait, we're doing this 3 more times? I'm not sure I can stomach this. Yeah, like, it was really good. It was really good. So I'm looking forward to the next one. And as I said, even if you have not played Dispatch, watch a playthrough. If the money is too much for the amount of playtime, there are tons of playthroughs out there. By the way, mine is uncensored. They are. I have watched a full playthrough once of Dispatch in censored mode, and I do not recommend it because they are censoring far more than just the dong dongs and the titties. And I'm like, nah, man. Nah, man. It's not good. So, but yeah, those were the top 4 games of 2025. And I said that I would have probably put Hades 2 here, right? If I would have played it. I played the early access version of the game. It was already excellent. And I'm pretty sure I would have put Hades 2 here as well. But I didn't play the 1.0 version, so I'm not putting it here. And now some people are asking, well, what's with Anno? No. Don't get me wrong. Anno was cool, but it was very much Anno 1800 in the Roman ages. And then the campaign is half finished. It is clear that they cut that. The AI pictures they're using, no. No. Which, funny enough, leads us to our next category, the golden brownish turtle molehill. Wow, that's a. I really have to get the message down of that category, which goes to the shittiest gaming company out there. And I will be honest, like the last year, I think this year it's not really a company, it's a category. And I want to offer this to AI. Yes. AI, unfortunately, has become the issue a lot of people have been expected. Right? We see more and more stuff just being barely acceptable when it comes to AI art, AI voices, AI like everything. And really how shitty the situation is, I think, becomes clear when, and I quote here, a recent discussion between a social media user and the CEO of Epic Games, Tim Sweeney, who basically said that, yeah, he thinks that storefronts should all just eliminate the information that there was AI used in the game because it became such a standard in the video game that that information is not doing much anymore. And I see it very much the other way around, where say, no, if this isn't a problem, then just leave it there, right? Like, why not inform the people what's in the package? Why is it an important point for you that that disappears again? And I think we all know why. Congratulations, yeah. Like, it, don't get me wrong. Some people think that I'm completely anti AI. AI, machine learning in particular, which is what we have, has its merits. And I really mean on a technical level. Like, I have seen, like, for doctors, for operations, like, sometimes the AI can see stuff so much faster, machine learning can see so much faster. Like, there was a particular video I once saw on YouTube where they were doing like a heart operation, right? And because of cameras and machine learning and all that, basically the machine saw swelling at the heart building up before it was visible really for the human eye. And the system could inform the doctor, like, dude, you have a problem at your hand here. Beware. And the doctor could react minutes before it became an actually life-threatening problem and could intervene because it got a warning there. Right? Like, that's the thing where I'm like, that is amazing. Right? Like, that is something where I'm completely for machine learning, that a system could just scan and be like, hey, I think there's something building up on the heart which is not good for the person who has the heart in the chest. And the doctor could react. Right? So I'm not against that. Like, I do think there's some applicable scenarios where AI is good. But unfortunately, the greed of companies and people have shown again that it comes down to how can we replace people who, especially higher ups, have never seen something as something necessary for their games, like art, right? Like, art was always like something which has to look good, which has to look as realistic as possible. They don't understand art. They don't understand art style. And they only understand, can that make me money? So why not to remove the middleman who is creating that art through their expression by a machine basically printing money all day? Like, it is baffling to me how many companies willingly jumped on the AI train when it was still in basically pre-alpha state. And it's still in pre-alpha state. Like, I just saw recently again like a video of a certain company, of a certain person, where they were showcasing a robot doing some work, and it turned out there was just a person controlling the robot, which is still cool and all that, but that's not what was advertised, right? Like, there's a lot of grifters there, a lot of scam, and frankly speaking, they are taking a Nokia, like the old, what is it, Nokia 3310 or something, and trying to sell it to the people as an iPhone. And I think that's one of the bigger problems as well. Like, the old Nokia brick phone. And they're trying to sell that as an iPhone. So that's a problem inherently in itself. And then, of course, that the first application for AI wasn't really to make life easier for everyone, but to basically cut out the part where people can show their art, where they can show their inspiration, like writing, art, music. Right? There are so many things, and they replace the things with AI. And yes, I'm calling it AI now. I know it's mostly machine learning. I know. I'm also not happy about that we are using AI for this. To replace the things people really enjoy. So, yeah, there is, as people would say, a soul missing. Like yesterday, when we watched the Divinity trailer. And after a few seconds, I immediately got Larian vibes from it, where people will say, why? This looks like every other CGI trailer, right? Really cool, amazing fidelity and all that. How can you tell that this is Larian? And it's like, Larian and their artists have a certain taste to it. There is a certain, like, even with realistic looks, there is a certain specific to the races you see on the screen, the tone of certain colors, and just like we talk a lot about Disney style, right? The old Disney movies. If you're going back, especially to the old Disney movies, there is a certain style to it, and it's very easy to pick up on because it's so obvious. And then you had the Larian trailer yesterday, and it is much more hidden, but there is a certain, they have a certain art style. They have a, like, it's details, it's minor details. And that's what I was picking up on. Hey, Gory! How have you been, by the way, man? Thank you so much for the AI generated cash. That's what it really is about, isn't it? Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. I really, really do appreciate that. Thank you. Speaking of $20, I had to redo my tax form and had to explain to the US government, as I have to do every few years, that yes, I make money from people from the US, but I'm not a US citizen and I'm not living in the US, and they should keep their hands off my money. Because if you don't do that, they will take 30% of your money because they assume that you are a US citizen or you are living in the US and they should keep 30% of your money. Yeah. Yes, I did. Thankfully, thankfully, my country is one of the countries who has a tax exemption with the USA. So I can just say, nope, citizen and living on this country, and I keep my money, bitches. And then my government is coming in and is like, whoa, 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 slow down there, bitch. We take that money from you. Like, oh, great. Yay. Yay. Fantastic. Fantastic. You know, there's always a government who's taking your money. No matter where, there will be a government who's taking your money. Like you could literally live in the Fallout world, and there would be a government who was like, "Yeah, so we are taking taxes from you. Okay, so what are you doing with my taxes? Doesn't matter. We take the money." Yes, yes, Tots. Yes. So yeah, every few years you have to fill out a, what is it, W8BEN form or something it's called. Something double eight. Let me see, what is it called? I can look it up. I mean, I just had to fill it out recently. It's called, let me see. Let me go into the money account. I'm definitely making sure that I'm not showing anything here. Give me just a second. Let me deactivate that just to make absolutely sure. Because this is like a lot of personal information. Let me see, where is that? It is called is this it? God, I never know what I'm looking at. Yeah, it's a, yeah, I was right. This is a Formula W-8BEN. Yes. That's the tax form you have to fill out for the US. And if you don't do that every 3 years, the IRS is kicking your door in and takes 30% of all your money. Yup. Yup. That's that. Mm-hmm. Yup. Had to fill that out. And I did. But yeah, Gory, thank you very much for the huge tip. Giggity. That's my Christmas money. That's my good old Weihnachtsmoney, as we say here. Thank you. Thank you. And how have you been, man? You have been gone for a bit. Oh no, funny enough, the VAT, not a problem. I get the VAT back as self-employed. Yeah, I'm VAT exempt. Mm-hmm. Which is nice. Fortunately, it doesn't help me with all the other tech stuff. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes, VAT exempt. The only positive aspect of being self-employed. Yeah. If I would have known back in the day. Oh my. You've been alright. That's good, man. No. Like I just want to say this, and then we are going back to the AI discussion. I always notice when longtime viewers are gone for a while, and no negativity, just like I'm always hoping the person is alright, because well, over the years, unfortunately, there were incidents and all that where the person wasn't all right afterwards, right? And so I'm always like, I'm hoping the person is all right, the person is doing well, right? And yeah, you were busy. You know what? I always think to myself, I hope the person is just busy and has better things to do in their life than watching me or stopping by and chat. Because let's be honest here, I would do the same thing to myself. I'd be like, dude, I have so much to do. I have better things than being here. So I always hope that's the case. So that's good to hear. That's good to hear. I mean, I was busy the whole week, right? I actually plan to play quite a bit of The Outer Worlds too. Good job, Mole. Good job. Yeah, you did great. Mm-hmm. Fantastic how you did that. Because I was so busy because I wanted to finish up like a lot of like videos for when I'm gone. But going back very quickly to the AI discussion, as I said before, I do truly believe that AI and machine learning does have its place. If not everyone right now would try to overbid themselves in being absolutely sleazy ghouls about it. Right? It's like I think I have never seen a technology coming up which is kind of promising for a lot of applications and immediately being so perverted by so many companies. And that's, I think, what kind of pisses me off. Like when you have a technology where you go, whoa, this could be really useful in a lot of ways. And then there are companies who immediately come in and be like, but we are making it worse. Like, did you see the awards? Yep. Live stream is here on the channel from yesterday night. We watched it live. Yep. Was going till 5 a.m. my time. Yep. 5 a.m. my time was when it ended. I watched the whole thing. If you want to see my reaction, especially when I become a little bit aroused and all that when they are showcasing the Total War thing, and then immediately afterwards the Ace Combat thing, and then I had to change my clothes afterwards. And you can watch this OnlyFans content here on the channel, which basically happened at that moment. Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm. Streamers here. Yep. Yep. I watched it. Yep. But and also AI data centers eating up the RAM prices right now. I really just hope for everyone you don't need new RAM because holy moly macaroni, man. And now that Crucial has announced that they are basically pissing off from the consumer market, is just insane. It's absolutely insane. Like 32 gigabyte of DDR5 6000 RAM is just, yeah. Like you're paying around 370 euro, which is about $400 for 32 gigabyte of RAM. Insane. Wow. Yeah. I mean, do you need 64 gigabyte? Probably not. Debatable, but still, yeah, the prices for DDR5, like even DDR4 is insane. It's insane. It's insane. Like, do not buy new RAM right now. If you need new RAM right now, you are screwed. So, yeah. It's still, even if you were buying 32 gigabyte, like you could get the 32 gigabyte for 150, something around that. Yeah. So it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So beware, kids. Beware. And now that Crucial has exited the stage or is exiting the stage, it will probably get worse. Yup. Because that means one big manufacturer out of the 3 is gone. So we have only 2 left. Yay. Fantastic. But now that we have the awards behind us, and we talked about the top games and the hate of the year, let's talk a little bit about this channel for the past year and the future. One last thing I will ask everyone who is here right now, what was for you the big announcement? And I know Tiny has probably longer thoughts on it, but Tiny, give me a TLDR. What do you think about Tomb Raider? Yes. Like one word is completely fine. I haven't watched anything. Wow. Wow. Okay. So there's a new Tomb Raider, which is fascinating. Right? I mean, they actually 2 Tomb Raiders. Yeah, they are 2 Tomb Raiders. There is the remake of the first Tomb Raider, which is coming, well, this year, right? And, well, this year. You know what I mean. It's Legacy of Atlantis, which is this one right here. This is the remake of the very first Tomb Raider. And apparently Flying Wild Hawk is making this, which are the creators of Shadow Warriors. So that's kind of cool, I guess. You know, they're definitely doing more than just beautiful graphics. So that's this year, right? That's this year. And then we have 2027, which is the new one, which is, where is it? There, Catalyst. And what I found really interesting about this one is that they're actually going old school Lara. Well, kinda. Not quite. But this definitely felt more like another, not the Lara Croft we saw last, but more like the, of the older Tomb Raider games. And also Grappling Hook. Yes. Lots of I mean, it doesn't look bad. That doesn't look bad. I don't hate her face. I don't know. This is a teaser trailer, but yeah, how generic. I'm definitely missing the pixels. I'm missing the front pixels. You know, I'm missing the front pixels. She doesn't seem to have that. Yeah, they definitely tuned that down a little bit, so that's it's a bit unfortunate. Discriminate, right? Where are my front pixels? I need that. I need the blocks. Oh, I needed that, yeah. Um then of course one of the big announcements for me was certainly the Warhammer announcement. So I will make a video about this, so I will not go too much into this, but I mean, this is all cinematic, whatever, right? Yeah, cool. Okay, get me hyped. Get me hyped. We have 4 races in here: Space Marines, Elder, um, Astra Militarum, aka the Guard, and the Orcs. So those are the 4 races we are starting with, but they have like a lot of under categories. Like Space Marines, they're basically taking like the different chapters and make them different. Um so it's kind of cool what they are trying to do here. I like the idea is when they're finally going into some gameplay. God damn it, so much cinematic trailer. We haven't seen anything of the Elder, funny enough. So this is where they're going into gameplay, and where you are then jumping between the stars, right? And it seems like they are doing the whole like universe, which is kind of cool. Um like you can see it right here. I'm really curious how they are doing this now, right? Like I'm really really curious, and that you can just jump on the planets, and when you are jumping on the planets, that's basically your battlefields, which are then in real time. So the one thing, this is all just camera. Like I saw some people immediately freaking out because of the camera angle and how this looks and all. Folks, this is a trailer for the freaking Game Awards. This is where 99% of the normal bobs are sitting down and they're watching this show. Like, Game Awards is for everyone. And when I say everyone, I mean 99% of the normies. The normies. Not you. You're the psychos. No. But everyone knows that this is not how you play a Total War game. That's also not what you will see. This is just to make it more cinematic. The only thing I will point out, and I hope this is because this is still pre-alpha, and I hope that means something, is the interface. I know this game is also coming out on consoles, which will be the first Total War game, and I hate to see unified interfaces, because most of the time unified interfaces are ass. And I really, really hope that this is not a sign of, yay, unified interfaces, woo! No, please don't do that. That's what killed Civ 7. Alright? Don't do that shit. I mean, this looks alright. There's definitely something going on for capturing something, which is kind of interesting. Also, big maps, interesting maps, lots of details. Love that, love that. Rocket Boys coming in. They're the different chapters. And people are asking, how does that work with the lasers and with the air support and all that? It's like, bitch, we have literally magic in Warhammer Total War. I can literally summon a nuke with the Skaven in Warhammer Total War. Like, you literally choose an area. After a few seconds, you see a rocket coming down. Yes, a rocket. And then the rocket will have a huge nuke with Fallout on it. In a medieval game. Welcome to Warhammer. It works. Like, this is just... whatever, man. Like, this is not too crazy. And then they're zooming out again. Apparently, you can see that right now here in the background. They're bombing a planet. Exterminatus. There we go. And that means that planet is Gonzo, which I'm really curious how that works. Then we have, like, quick look here at the planets. It's kind of cool. This is a city one, mining planet. I don't know what that is. Maybe Uncharted. Heck yeah, like, people complain that this is not really what they expect from a Total War game. And I'm like, look, you are getting Total War Medieval 3. If you want your Total War game, that will probably be the closest which you will get to the normal Total Wars. But if you want to make a Total War game of intergalactic scale, I mean, you have to innovate a little bit. Especially if you want Warhammer 40k, you cannot just copy it one to one. And I think some people misunderstand that. They misunderstand that a bit. But But yeah, there were great announcements there. I really enjoyed it. I think it was good. I had some good announcements there. I liked the awards, even though I don't give a shit. And it was good. But yeah, if you want to see my reaction, my thoughts, it's here on my channel. Watch it. After we are done here. Go back and watch it. Right here. Yeah. Now, let's talk about this channel. This one. Right here. The Mole Under Management channel. What a year. And I mean that in the nicest way possible and in the worst way possible. 2025 was definitely a year for the channel which was exhausting. Because for the first half year, a lot of the things I kind of had planned for this channel and for some other channels did completely fall through. This channel? No, the other one, Draco. Good morning, Draco. I see you were also you raised from the dead. By the way, to all the Europeans out there, see, Draco actually watched the whole show with me yesterday. And he was awake till 5 a.m. in the morning. Why couldn't you do that? Huh? Just ask. I'm joking. I'm joking. You're probably all more responsible than I am, so that's okay. Well, sorry, I work during the week. Oh, boo. Oh, the dude has to work. Like, grab a ticket and stand in line. Oh yeah, Diablo 4. I checked it and I realized you have to buy the new expansion to play the Paladin right now, and I was just like, nope. Nope. I learned my lesson after the last expansion. Nope. Oh, it's the Paladin. It's the Paladin shiny. Lots of hammers to be thrown, I assume. How's the Pala? Um, but yeah, so the first half of this year was definitely not what I had in mind. I will say this: the first half of this year was a dud. Civilization 7 was definitely one of those, well, shit moments. Like, it really sucks when you have such a big game like Civilization 7, and you see also a lot of other games just postponing their releases because of that game. Like, nobody wanted to be in the blast zone of Civilization 7, right? And from a content creator perspective, Civ 7 was definitely one of those games which I kinda had on my plan for a few weeks and months. And instead of weeks and months, it was a few days. Because Civ 7 absolutely sucked ass. And I don't mean that in a good way. So now we had a problem that basically a big game, which definitely did a lot of good for this channel before the game released, like the numbers on Civ 7 were amazing before the release, completely crumbled when the game came out. And the game itself was ass, which was also pretty annoying to myself because I love the Civ series. But that also meant now we didn't have the big game for strategy games, which was supposed to carry this channel for a bit. And all the other games which were supposed to also release in that cycle all got pushed back because everyone was kind of believing that Civ 7 will take up the spot for quite some time and nobody will play anything else. Oh, Blizzard didn't accept your money. By the way, I can neither offer you a Paladin nor am I Blizzard, but I do accept your money. Man, I'm a great salesman. Jokes aside. So yeah, Civ 7 unfortunately did a lot of bad. Yeah. The Mecha Break, well, that was a different channel, but that was also really disappointing. Like, there were a lot of disappointments this year. I hate to say it. There were a lot of disappointments this year. I know I'm the biggest disappointment of them all, but no, like, for the games I had kind of planned for this channel and what I wanted to present was A, pushed into the second half, or B, didn't live up to what I hoped it would be. And I mean that from a gameplay perspective as of a content creator perspective. Like, I can only say I am so lucky that Farthest Frontier did pretty well. Like, Farthest Frontier was the push I needed. Without Farthest Frontier, this year would have been a disaster, I think. So, thanks. And for everyone who came to this channel through Farthest Frontier. I kind of hope we would reach the 2,000 subscribers by the end of this year. That was kind of my internal goal. Missed it. But I think if Civ 7 would have been in line with what a lot of people hoped it to be, it would have been possible. It would have been possible. We were pretty close. You know, we are missing less than 200 subscribers. So, cool. You know? And with what is coming next year, especially in the first half of the year, I'm quite confident, quite positive about it. Now I hope that the second half will not be the first half of this year, so that they're basically releasing all their games in the first half, and then the second half of 2026, I will be like, Strategy games? Games? Hello? So I'm hoping that's not happening. But yeah, 2025 was weird. Like lots of games and a lot of games which didn't fully live up to what I wanted. Yeah. Now, let's talk a little bit about what we have planned in early 2026. Right. The first game I want to check out in 2026 is what is it called? Stars Resonance? Not Stars Reach. Stars Resonance? Star Resonance? Was it Resonance? No. What was it? Damn it. Something with Star. Why am I so bad? Oh no, it's not in the list anymore because the playtest is over. There was a playtest recently. Star. Help me out here. Star. Rupture. There we go. Something with R. R. Yeah, that's coming into early access on January 6th. So basically a day after I come back. Definitely doing a live stream here and all that. Like I'm planning to do a little bit around it because we did a live stream of it when it first did go into some playtesting, I think in August. I think it was in August this year. And it did pretty well. It did pretty well. Yeah. Did pretty well. So Star Rapture on January 6th. Looking forward to that. We will build some beautiful concrete. I can already promise you that. Then on January 13th, we will check out Hightail. That is on the Mole RP channel. That's not on the Mole Under Management channel because Hightail is definitely not a management building game and whatnot. So yeah, that's not gonna happen. And for everyone who is like, Hightail, what's that? Basically Minecraft. Technically, basically, a bit. Yeah. With definitely more RPG elements and some pretty amazing ideas. Especially when it comes to the mod support. Like, it's clear that the developers have a plan when it comes to what this game is supposed to be and how they want to integrate the community into this. Right? And I have to see if I enjoy this game. You know, like I always have my issues with these type of games. Right? And I wanna see if this clicks and also how it does on the YouTubes. So we would check that out on January 13th. Well, 14th, depending on when it comes out on the 13th. I actually will open up a multiplayer server, I think. So if people want to join me, if you are planning on playing this and all that, you're more than welcome to do so. Maybe we are just looking for a server or something. I have to see. I haven't really thought it yet because we also don't know exactly how the structure will look like when it comes to servers and the price structure. We know what it will cost. So entry level is $20. Entry level is $20. So that's a pretty good entry level, right? And then I know this is again for the Mole RP channel, but I really want to see how this game is doing on there. And keep in mind, this will be very early on in the development phase of the game. Like, if you don't know the history of this game, it was basically like an indie game till 2020. Then it got bought by Riot Games. And then they restarted the game. Not because they wanted to change the gameplay, but because Riot Games basically told them, hey, use a different engine, use a different client. We also want to make sure that this game can run immediately on different platforms, not just PC. And they had to code the game completely from beginning. And, well, that put a damper into the game's development. So the next 4 years, it was basically just them catching up to what they have been doing before. And then a few months ago, Riot Games closed them down. Just like that. End of the line, end of story. Now they bought back the license and they bought back the game, but as far as we understand, they did not buy back the multi-client of the game. So they only bought back what they have been developing up till the point they got bought by Riot Games. So technically speaking, the last 4 to 5 years didn't happen. Didn't happen. And now they're working on that again. But yeah, this is the newest gameplay they have showed, I think 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So this is the rawest gameplay you get and the newest gameplay you get. Like, they literally recorded that a few hours before they showcased this. And they also make it very clear that, hey, this is very early on. But I know it's crazy to say that, but the hype this game already has is big. Like, you see the trailer numbers, the Discord is on fire 24/7. And in general, like, there's definitely a community already behind the game before it even came out, which is a good sign. And I want to see how that goes. But yeah, the 13th, you can already create an account, by the way, and you can also register your username, which I already did, because they have unique usernames. Not that let's be honest here, not that I ever had the problem that ChaosMole was already taken. Let's be real here. I never really had to fight over the name ChaosMole in any game, really. But yeah, I reserved my name already. So, but yeah, you can still do it. You can create an account, and then you were getting a token after some time. Like, might take a few hours, and then you can reserve your name. Yep. So Hightail, definitely, definitely something which is on my list. Um, now, now, let's talk about another game I want to check out. This is coming out on the 22nd of January, I think. And this is Arknight Enfield. Yes, this is a gacha game. You got that right. And if you are like, oh, much, really? So this will be on the Mole RP channel? No, this will probably be on the Mole Under Management channel, because even though there is an RPG and gacha component here, as you can see, and what the hell is that menu? There we go. Oh, somebody has been speeding that up. Since when are we doing that? Since when are we doing, like, the speedy speeds? There is also a base management in the game. There is a factory part in the game, right? So you were doing a lot of production and you have to build your bases. I like the overview. I don't like the energy fields instead of the actual conveyor belts, right? I think that's a bit of a downgrade. That's a bit unfortunate. So we are definitely checking that out. Also, when that is coming out by the end of January. And as you can see, there is like already 3 big games coming out in January, and then we have quite a bit. We have quite a bit of games this year. Oh, there's how you're doing pipes and all that. So, the beginning of 2026 looks already crazy, which I'm really looking forward to. And then, of course, we have so many games. We have so many games coming out. Maybe finally I managed to play Lies of P. We'll see how that goes. But no, seriously, we have quite a bit of games coming out. Yep. So 2026 looks good. Tiny is like, yes, yes. I have to see. I have to see when. I have to see when. I don't want to promise it anymore till I finally get to it. It's definitely on my list. It's definitely there. Oh god. Hooded Horse has also tons of games coming up. Menace, Heroes of Might and Magic is coming up. Substructure. So many games. 2026 2026 I think will be awesome. Yeah. I think it will be awesome. I think it will be amazing. At least when it comes to releases, and I think it will be fun as a gamer and as a content creator. And then, of course, there are. Excuse me. God, didn't have a lot of sleep. Sorry. And then, of course, there are the games nobody knows of yet. which is probably also a lot. Like, as every year, there will be game releases where you just go, what? Because you didn't saw that coming. And I'm always here for it. Now, AAA games, yeah, we have a few. We have a few. Do I care too much for them? Nah. Not necessarily. Oh, one last thing, because I saw that popping up, and I wanna briefly want jump on this. Ashes of Creation is now on Steam. I have no plans right now to jump into it because it's still very early on and they're slow. They are very, very slow with Ashes of Creation. Like, I'm rather careful. Yeah. I'm careful with Ashes of Creation. They have been missing a lot of milestones. It reminds me very much of Camelot Unchained. Like, that game has been in development also for over 10 years. So, yeah. But I think this is it. I think that's it, folks. I will move now into my vacation. There will still be some YouTube videos coming up, and I might do a stream now and then here in between. You know how I do when I really feel like bored and I don't know what to do. Maybe I do a stream of something. No promises. If it happens, I will post it in my Discord and on my social media as per usual. But officially, I'm now off till the end of the year. And then I will be back on the 5th of January. Thank you, everyone, for watching this whole year, the videos, my live streams, especially to the people who have been also going above and beyond for supporting this channel, right? Through subscriptions, super chats, tips, watching the ads. Like, just thank you again from the bottom of my heart. And now I will say something I will very regret. Very much regret. And you cannot believe how much I will regret this. Next year is my 10th year streaming anniversary. That it hurt. That it hurt. That it freaking hurt, man. Yeah, in August. And we will celebrate that with a playthrough of Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Shoot me right here, right now. I don't wanna witness that. Somebody end my misery. Somebody just end my misery. Wow. Hey, see, I still have that gallows humor. Even after 10 years, I still have that gallows humor. I didn't lose that. Ooh. But yeah, 10 years. 10 years of streaming. And you know what's even crazier? What's even more heartbreaking? That some of you have been here for those 10 years. I'm just saying. Some of you have been longer around than some of my longest friendships I had. Sometimes. I have some friendships which are longer than that, but much longer, but you get my idea. It's crazy. Even though I have to say, it's also kind of weird that I don't fully recognize the first years of streaming in particular. It's a bit stupid how it works in my mind, in my brain, but from a purely content creation perspective, especially my mixer stuff is completely gone. And then the 2 years of me wandering around on different platforms and not really knowing where I want to belong, um, that also didn't help. So, technically speaking, that never happened. Technically. In reality, of course, did happen because I met a lot of you awesome folks here and I learned a lot about content creation, streaming, and all that. But, like, I cannot just go to somebody and be like, yeah, look at my numbers. I had a mixer because A, they don't mean shit anymore, and I don't even have the content anymore. So it's a lot of like gone forever, I guess. But hey, happened, and I'm pretty happy to where this is going right now. So let's take the positive. Let's take the positive approach here. But folks, I will now go offline. I will probably take another nap because, well, didn't have a lot of sleep. And definitely make sure to watch my Game Awards reaction, where I'm snarking over all the things. I definitely have been snarking over Keely's outfit. I had a bit of a fisticuffs at the beginning. Yep. If you wanna see my ritual blasting Keely for its outfit, especially the shoes, man, the shoes. Make sure to watch that. Again, folks, thank you so much for your support, for watching, for going above and beyond with tips, subs, being active in the Discord, being an amazing community in 2025. Like, thank you. And I hope I see you next year. Have some wonderful holidays, Christmas, or Weihnachten, as we say here. Funny enough, I always like that word more. Yeah. But I hope you have some amazing days ahead of you, then the new year. And then I hope we will be all refreshed by the beginning of next year. With that said, love you all. Have a good one. More importantly, as always, stay safe. Till then, bye bye. Ka-ching!